So, are you thinking about getting into wholesale for your products, but not quite sure about the pricing structure? Well, I've been running my business for about 4 years now, and I just recently got into wholesale. So, I have some experience, and I'm going to tell you all the things you need to know about wholesale pricing. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret, so stay to the end to find out. All right, so I started my business about 4 years ago. It took me like 2 years to get all my like recipes together. I made my whole custom recipe list and to like really study how all the ingredients work, how they all interact with each other, all the benefits they have for the skin, different essential oil benefits. So it took me a while, but I finally figured it out. So after I figured out my products and stuff, I really started getting into my getting my business out there and selling retail about 2 years ago now. So what I've learned is that for retail, it's really important that you're taking all expenses into account when you're pricing because a lot of people will leave some things out. But I actually went to school for business administration and marketing, so I have a little bit of experience in accounting, so I know exactly what you need to pay attention to for when it comes to costs and stuff. So you have to make sure you're considering your labor that you are using. If you make handmade things like me, you need to account for the labor that it takes, all the ingredients, the prices for them, of course, and you need to account for things like marketing. Are you going to run ads? You need to account for things like just any kind of like packaging or any kind of thing you're going to be adding to the product. It's not just the price of the ingredients. So with all those things considered, it's important that you make your retail prices about 3 to 4 times your cost, just so you have enough wiggle room so you can afford to do things like market, to get good packaging, to be able to like maybe hire someone, or if you're still doing it yourself, pay yourself for the labor hours you're working because it's not easy. And literally, when those taxes come in, you're going to want to make sure you're making enough money. Trust me, because they can be expensive. So make sure for retail, you're trying to charge at least 3 to 4 times as much as your costs, all your costs combined. So you have to make sure you write out a list of how much everything costs, including labor, including packaging, everything. And then you're going to multiply that by 3 or 4, and that's going to be your retail price. Now me, because I have like a lot of like high-end ingredients, like it would be extremely expensive for me to charge like 4 times the amount that it costs for me to make the things, because they're already expensive because the ingredients are good and they're expensive. So I usually get about like 3 times, 2 to 3, well, about 3 times. I try to make at least 3 times the amount that I paid to create my product and sell it for retail, at least around three times. That's always the goal. But sometimes you make a product and you don't always win on every single one. Sometimes you might have a loss leader where you're just making enough to make the item again and not getting any kind of profit. And that will be a great tool that you can use to get people introduced to your brand. So you call it a loss leader, and you really make a bunch of money from it, but it's a great tool that you can use to get more people to try your product for the first time. And then, so I just recently started getting into wholesale as well because it's a huge market. There's a lot of value because the customers are usually repeat customers because they have to fulfill, like, they have to get it back on the shelves. Like, they don't want an empty store. So you're going to pretty much always get return customers when you have good products when you're doing wholesale, which is one thing I really appreciate because you always have orders coming in. You don't have to worry about, is this customer going to come back? Are they not? Because most of the time, if you're selling wholesale, they will come back. But the downside is that you have to charge a lot, like charge them a lot less. So a goal is to just charge twice as much as what you paid for your items and sell them to the wholesaler. So they can then mark it up for their retail and be able to make some profit, because you have to make profit. I know I love making beneficial products and helping people out, but it's important that I'm actually making money so I can keep doing it and I have to keep telling myself that. So that's why it's important to make sure you're making a return on your products that you're making or purchasing and then reselling. Because even though you want to help people out, you can't be like losing all the time, or this would be like a nonprofit. And I ain't got money for that. I can't afford it. So with wholesale, it's important that you're trying to get at least twice as much about the price that you've incurred to make the product. There are different wholesale options. You can go onto different websites like Fair. That's one I really like, and you could go ahead and list your items on there. And unlike Etsy, they don't charge a listing fee, so you can list as many items as you want, and you could set a value of how little of a price of a quantity of orders that you want to have from the buyer for them to be able to purchase the item, like a minimum purchase quantity, which is helpful because then you can make huge batches at one time and then sell them all to like one person, because it really works out if you're really good at manufacturing your products. So Fair is a really good option. I think I'm going to try to include a referral code or like one that I have like with my seller account, and I'm going to add it in the description if I'm able to find one. So just check it out. And I think if you're really trying to get into wholesale, that's a really good place to start. As well as you can go to like your different like stores around your neighborhood and ask them if they're interested in getting your product in there. Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. I'm really nervous to ask them all the time, so I haven't tried it much, but I know that's another option if you're trying to get your products out for wholesale. So you're definitely going to want to try those things. And that's the pricing structure that I found works most well for me so far. And I hope it'll work for you too. Go ahead, try it out, and let me know how it goes. Come back, comment on this video, and let me know what you think. So I hope that helps. And if it did, go ahead and subscribe, or at least like this video. You could at least like it. If you got this far, you probably liked it. So please like my video. It really helps the algorithm, and I would really appreciate it. So I think that's all I have for this video. And if you'd like to learn more about Fair, go ahead and click that link I'm going to put in the description, or ask me any kind of questions you have in the comments. Like, is there any other things you were worrying about, like wholesale, like starting the business? If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll share as much as I can with you. So with that, I'm going to head out, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.